I'm in the beat too loud. Bet when mama see me now she proud. Even Steven, he done beat them odds. Far from easy, but I figured it out. Seen a lane, then I paid me a route. Now they pay me just to see me come out. Quarantine over is far from a drought.
Oh, there's two things I need to...
Oh, yeah, she needs to talk to you. This
What'd
is...
I do?
Wow, okay, yeah, no.
Okay, wait, the first one, right? You know your song, On God?
Yes.
On
God.
The first time I heard it,
On God.
when you said, back up on the mission.
In this mission, even if it's...
It sounded like you said back up in this B word. And I was like, what are they allowing at the edge? It really sounded like...
Listen, I sent Steve 3 records. He picked that one, so he must have...
I like it, but I didn't know that you were saying back up in this mission. I really thought you said back up in this B word, and I was thinking, what is going on?
The edge, on the edge.
Okay,
for real.
I'm not.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Yeah, thank God.
What's the next one?
Let's go. It's like 50 episodes later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, you know, teens. All right, let's get to it.
What'd you say?
Get it off your heart. Confess it. Purge it, Jade. Purge
Okay,
your
I have
confess.
no rhyme or reason for this.
Confess your sins.
I'm listening. I don't know what you did.
This is
I'm
sister
waiting.
to brother confession. Tell it, Jade. Talk it. Speak it, Jade.
I have no reason to think this.
Tell him.
None at all. Right.
Okay. She got tears on her face again. She laughs, cries, and actually cries on this podcast. This is blood, sweat, tears.
Let's go!
I thought...
This is killing me.
Let's go!
Just say it.
Just say it.
Okay.
Rip it off.
Alright.
Remember, look, Romans 12 says, don't repay evil for evil.
Yeah,
Okay.
just say it, Jade.
I thought you were the one that reported us and got us back from Instagram.
Why? Why?
Thank you.
Why would you think that?
Why?
I don't know.
She said that to me jokingly. And I was like, oh.
She was serious, bro.
Why?
She was the
I don't
strong.
know.
Hey, we were upstairs. We was like, yo, I think Nick keep reporting us.
Heck no.
I said,
On God.
no,
On
wait,
God.
it's actually on camera when I said it for the first time. And episode like 12, I was like, I think Edify reported us.
And I'm sure people were like, oh, that's funny.
We all laughed about it.
Nah.
Yo, we laughed because Nick, why would you report us? That's all I was saying.
And that's why I said I don't have any reason for
I
it.
promise you I did not report you. I wish I knew who did.
Yeah.
I'd like to know who the person is.
I have different suspicions.
I don't think... I highly doubt it's somebody from here. You think it's... Oh, she's being quiet.
Nick, I think it was you.
It was not.
I think it was my whole heart.
It wasn't Edify, but yeah.
No.
It was hilarious though, man.
It was not.
Hey, she was.
Look me in my eyes. Do I look like I'm lying?
No,
I know you're
it's
straight. It's
We
just
did-
funny because Jay was like, I think it's Nick. Whoa, like we.
And everyone was like, what?
The only person I've ever reported was on my music page for being disrespectful as heck. And I was like, bye.
You know,
blocked.
you are very straight.
Like
Straight and narrow, you're talking about?
No, like you're like,
You need to stop.
like you're
They missed that combo.
You're
Straight edge.
no, like you're
I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
like all through what I just told you.
Yes.
You're okay. Nothing
demeanor,
changed. Yeah, your
your
demeanor.
You know
is
why?
very...
Because
Even
I'm trying to show you.
Yeah.
No.
No, I know that it wasn't. I know that it wasn't. I was just talking for you.
Yeah. No, it was hilarious.
How did I miss that on the podcast?
I don't know.
No one told me about it.
Yeah, this was for weeks, man.
Yeah,
man.
like, it
This is a couple months maybe.
Nah.
Nick is reporting us.
Dang.
Yeah, Jay could do nothing. She was in.
We got
IG
a full
job.
house for real. For real, man.
was. No, but no, I don't think it's you for it.
No, it's not.
But I just thought
It's
it was funny.
No, I've never reported you. I've
Yeah.
never had any ill will towards you. I promise. None.
I believe you.
Yeah, no.
Why do you think people are reporting you? Because you're too
Honest.
real?
You know what? I get more like hate than the bad guy. I think I've said more bad things
You
than
think
the
it's
bad
because
guy.
you're a woman?
No, mine get cut.
Huh?
All my hate really gets cut.
Yeah, because you say names.
Like, yo, I had a segment.
You had a segment going in on someone from here, right? And we had to just.
You had to cut it.
Mark does not sugarcoat. I used to not know that about Mark. And Mark will tell you how he feels and then some. Even on the podcast.
That's why I was because I'm the same way, so I was very surprised Pete allowed us to do a podcast together.
Probably the two worst people.
Absolutely.
Like oil and fire.
I feel like if I did the podcast, like if I was the one leading it, it would be super strategic and like bullet point.
Yeah.
Which I would rather be like free flowing like it is. But.
Yeah, no, the free flowing is good, but notice we probably got through 4 of our 10 topics.
Right.
But
and every week, right? I love our podcast.
I do watch Joe Rogan. I was joking about that, but they don't have topics. They just talk.
Mm-hmm.
But our pressure is to, try to keep it within a certain time limit. This is easily 2 hours.
Yeah,
I have no idea. What time is it?
It's 6:06 right now.
No, it's not.
I was going to do a full day's work after this podcast. I was going to go and clean
I still got studio
I
stuff.
need to
We
use
actually about to
strongman.
go to the movies.
Oh, are you?
Me, Steven, and Tank, I think.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
you guys
good.
are invited if you.
I'm like,
I'll be the only
said
girl,
I'm good.
right, so I'll stay away.
Unless
I don't even know what movie we're seeing.
If it's not the new Despicable Me movie, I'm straight.
Bring the kids. You don't have maps still, do you? Oh, you do? Yeah. I'm not bringing my kids to the movies. It's crazy.
But yeah.
So this is my therapist coming out real quick because you asked me how to help somebody out who's going through that. I didn't really
We still want to speak about your therapy side, by the way.
Yes. I'll try to speed bullet point this because I think it's really important for people who are looking for things that are more so evidence-based. So there's this thing called near-death experiences, NDEs, right?
Mm-hmm. Mark had one this week.
What?
Yeah, I was in a hospital bed. I couldn't even reach my phone. I couldn't really move my body. I was sitting there just thinking, man, it might be over. Like, I'm literally sitting in this boy, can't move, can't text, got no service. Like, my life was over.
Mm.
So, okay, that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
A near-death experience too is like you die, like you did die, like you flatlined.
Oh, I ain't died.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Totally different level.
So
I was exaggerating.
People will talk about like, yeah, I died and went to heaven and came back, and it's like, okay, how do you prove that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's actually a group that did a study on it.
Wow.
So they went to hospices, hospitals, and there's also like some really key stories, like key examples of ones that are like nationally known or internationally known. I'm
internationally known on the microphone. I can't go, but I really need a wife at home.
Okay, who's that? Pop?
No, Diddy and Usher.
Oh.
I need the girls who.
But yeah,
I
don't know that song.
Okay.
I've listened to.
I'll put you on. I got you.
Okay, thanks, man. From what 2005?
Yeah.
So I looked at those studies, and those studies actually were really helpful in going like, whoa, there's something here outside of like, people talk about when you die, like you have a rush of chemicals. A lot of these researched instances, it was way after that. Mm-hmm. So it's like people being dead for 30 minutes and coming back, which is you're supposed to be brain dead.
Yeah.
So that really helped me like go, whoa, there is something more here.
What would they say? What did they find?
Well, there were people who would die and like watch themselves getting surgery while they were dead. Like they'd flatline during surgery and like watch the doctors, with the scalpel and then they'd come back and say, oh, you use this instrument, and like they would have no idea what those are because like they put them away after.
Yeah.
So there's examples of that. There's examples of people literally going to heaven and hell. There's people, just having these like out of body conscious experiences that are really difficult to explain that are outside of the brain.
Yeah.
So that really helped me, and like some people still try to discredit that research, but I think it's really substantial.
And that helped you like get to the realization that there is more to
There's
just
more,
this physical life.
Yeah, I'm open to it. It's not just something that I was told. It's something that's like tangible. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's not like I'm not trying to prove Jesus Christ is real and like, the first step was, okay, what's gonna happen after I die?
Yeah.
Like, if you could start making those steps,
Yeah.
that's when you're like, okay, yo, I could construct.
Mm-hmm.
I
Bro.
can start constructing, you know, what
If
I
any
can-
atheist has that experience or like even gets close to judgment and feels that pressure, like you're not an atheist anymore, like at all, man. And that really exists. Like that's a real thing. Like there's more.
So did your time of going through this, and you said that you went through like a depression and stuff like that, right? So did going through that, was that the bridge to getting you into where you are now, where you're studying to become a psychologist? Like what has that journey been, and how did you get there?
It's weird because it's not like that mental health, because I had a psychology degree, so I've always been interested, but I never experienced it. Like, you know, God will put you through some stuff to make you empathize with people. And so I really
Lord, I want to empathize with some millionaires.
For real. Please, Lord, I pray over finances all the time. But yeah, like I think I got my first dose of real life. Like I worked at a company, and I won't name the company, but it was a healthcare company, and I got a management position. I was like, oh, I'm making it. This is while I'm depressed, by the way. I'm like super, you know, in the gutter, and I still get this job, and I'm like, okay, things are going to turn around. It's horrible. And they have me on call like every night, so I'm getting calls 3, 4, 5 in the morning trying to sleep, like emergencies happening, and I'm like, this is horrible. Like this is not what I signed up for. So I lasted there for 6 months and said, okay, time to go to grad school, because I was at the tail end of that depression season, and so I wanted to help others, but also like better my life, because I was like, this is the next step to what my original degree was, and I always wanted to do this. Like I always wanted to be a counselor, but I was like, it's time now. So I had a break between graduating in 2015 and starting grad school in 2018. So it was a 3-year gap. A lot of people go from undergrad right to graduate, and so my track was just all over the place. But yeah.
And how's it been? Like, are you excited?
I'm almost done.
Yeah, you wrapping up, dog. Like, this is like the last not last semester.
Literally,
but like,
yeah, it is. It's so I'm just an internship now. I'm taking an elective class that I didn't have to take. It's like an add-on to my degree
like
for
gym?
marriage counseling.
Oh.
Yeah, it's an elective, but in the sense that it gives me more credentials to be a marriage therapist. So not even, you know, that's not going to be my main goal, but it's going to be something that I'll have as an option. So I'm doing that as an elective. It's just an 8-week course. It's not the regular 16. And then I'm just finishing up internship, which is like in real life.
And how does your faith and your knowledge of psychology, how has that married each other? Because I see that there's a lot of circles of people that like to keep those separate. Either like you're really into the science and, you know, God isn't real, but there's also Christians that don't like the psychology stuff, and any problem
that's the devil.
Right, every problem is the devil, or every problem is a demon, or every problem just needs to be prayed over. So like, where have you found that balance?
Well, I would say this, and this is going to offend people. I think that
Love it.
That's what
Need it.
Need it. You have the right
personally-
podcast for that.
I know. I feel comfortable. I think any mature Christian would marry the two. If you're immature, you won't, because you're going to get to a place where it doesn't match reality. You know what I mean? Like,
can you expand on that?
Yeah, like if you think everything's the devil, which the devil is real, so I'm not, you know, saying that there's no dark spiritual side to life, or there's not an enemy, right? But I'm saying, like, I've actually seen people who do deliverance where I wouldn't call them exorcists, but they help people with demonic oppression, and they do prayer and all that type of stuff. And I've seen a lot of those guys really transition recently, where they're like, hey, most of the people who come in here have a mental health issue. Like, you need to go see a counselor and get medicated, because this is not a demon issue. But then they also are helping people with depression. So they know, like, it's real. They believe in it. They're helping people through it, but they're also saying, hey, 60% of this is not that. So, like, yeah, to say everything is the enemy sometimes is a cop-out for yourself, for your own issues.
100%. Not 100% everybody say it, but
right.
It's 100% a cop-out.
Okay, so on the flip side of that then, how, like, you probably haven't dealt with this yet, But have you, if you have, but in the future, if you have to deal with it, where it's like somebody comes in for a mental health issue, but you actually think they have a demon?
I think that'd be super, super rare. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, I'm a spiritually minded person. I'm open to that. I think, so I'm working at a place called Integrative Health Consultants of West Michigan. That's the practice. LaDawn, who is PE's wife, she worked there originally, and now she's doing her own private practice. And so it's technically, it's not Christian counseling, but everyone's a Christian, and it's kind of like a Christian organization. So I think there'd be a lot of people that would lend their ear in that situation where we can like work through it and see if there's other options. And I also think like people would just be, open to talking about it. So that's a good thing about where I'm at, and I plan on working there after my internship. So yeah, I think it'd be hard if it was just strictly a mental health place and no one had a background that was faith. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to tell you if it ever happens, but I think I just handle it carefully. Yeah.
That's amazing, and I think you're going to be amazing.
Thank you.
Like, you're such an asset to us here at The Edge. I know that you're always somebody that I can come to speak to if I ever need to. So
absolutely.
So thank you for what you're doing. But let's transition a bit now to speak more music.
Okay.
Because not only are you going to be a therapist.
Therapizing.
Yeah, therapizing. You are a Christian rapper, but you're also a producer and engineer. So at what point did that start happening?
The producer?
Yeah.
He got sick of everybody's beats and started his own.
Well, I don't make beats.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't. I kind of do, but
so does that mean just?
I'm not like somebody who's selling beats.
But you produce, like, you're able to produce a song though.
Right. So I mix and master. So I'm more of a vocal engineer, but I also mix beats.
Okay.
So like
make them sound better.
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of like production that goes into things, and like moving instruments and EQing instruments, and so that's my side of things. But I think I got started in it because I didn't want to pay for it anymore. That was a big part of it. Yeah. I was like, I just don't really want to spend $250 every record.
In 3 years.
Yeah. So that really started it. It was like, I'm broke. Let me figure out how to do this. So it was trash at first, but I trust myself more than most at this point.
Do you ever have like some really terrible rappers come to you?
Why is she trying to get me in trouble?
I mean, I'm sure.
Terrible? I don't think I've ever had a terrible rapper, honestly. I've had some that need work. Yeah.
Okay. And you just tell them
never terrible, no.
Okay. Well, that's good.
No. I've had a couple people send me records that I don't know or like I never worked with in the studio that needed a lot of work. Like, yeah.
No, what? So. You took some time off.
Yeah.
And I know here we received you well because we were glad to hear, hey, yo, Nick's rapping again. Yo, that's love. How did your family take it? Like,
leaving or coming back?
Well, both. Like, what was that transition of saying, yo, I'm not really with the whole God thing right now?
Well, they didn't really know that fully. I tried to tell my dad one time.
Sorry, guys.
No. They know now.
Yeah, all right,
I'm saying, like, at the time,
yeah.
I remember saying something to my dad about church. He's like, I don't want to hear it.
Dang.
But he came from a good place because I think, like, he didn't want to struggle or, like, he didn't want to go into that because we all have doubts, So he was like, if you take me there, I'm going to be there with you, and I don't want to be there. Because I noticed that my dad and I kind of feed off each other sometimes. So, yeah, we avoided it as a family, but they knew like I was kind of in that space, and I'm sure they didn't like it. And then I remember when I came back and started rapping again, I was actually here in studio working on a record with somebody, and my grandma called me crying, so happy that I was like back, and I didn't even announce it, but she like knew stuff had changed. And she's like, I'm so happy for you. And she goes, the enemy's going to attack you even more now, just to let you know. And I'm like, yeah, I get that.
And I was cracking jokes. I was saying that, like, yo, like, you're going to be a therapist, counselor, psychologist. I don't know what the actual title is.
Yeah. And
you're a rapper. So, like, at some point, this is somebody's family's disappointment. Like, yo, my son, he's a genius. He's a therapist. but he just keep rapping.
Yeah.
But it sounds
I
like
have thoughts like that. Yeah, I've had thoughts like
What
that.
does your family think about you being a rapper?
They love it.
Yeah.
They support me.
Everybody-
They came to my show in Detroit.
Aw.
All came and supported. That was like a $20 ticket. So,
Ooh, big ticket.
big ticket.
Big ticket.
I always see those memes. It's like there's always that one guy still rapping from high school. Like, and I'm like, that's me. But here's my thing. I love music so much, and it'll always be a part of my life. Even when I'm done rapping, you know, production's always going to be a part of it. Writing's always going to be a part of it. And the other thing too is like, you got to gauge success. You know, if you have no success, like if you're not progressing, yeah, you're just that dude from high school still rapping, but I make money off of this. I get to reach people through this. I get to support my family ultimately through this, and like it pays bills.
Yeah,
So,
tell the camera, say boss up.
yeah.
I'm joking.
Here's my thing.
You're so
I'm not gonna say boss up, but
But you're basically
he's making me think something else. I'm not gonna say it. Anyways, yeah, like there's just so many people where it's not for them, and like they just keep going. And trust me, I'm sure there are people who have looked at me and gone, just like, what are you doing? Or like, why are you still doing this? Or like, even at the beginning, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, you were never a rapper, now you're a rapper. That's weird. But like, I always had this fire in me to do it and to grow, even through like really nasty criticism. Like, especially early on, like, man.
I was probably number one, too.
You were one, probably, I'm sure.
I told you.
I just know Dre.
You like a murderer. Like, when you rap, you just stand in one
God.
spot.
But that's live. That was live.
Yeah, live. Okay.
But, like, on wax, I was terrible.
I don't think I was there.
Like, I started out just like, bro, I needed so much work, and I didn't know it. I just wanted to do it. And Dre, man, he just used to flame. Like,
hey, yo, shout out to Dre, man. Thanks for keeping it real.
He used to like I used to pronounce things really hard, and he'd be like, you know, I'm coming, you know, like making these weird like voices, and I'm like, that's how I sound. Like, that's okay. Even if it was exaggerated, like I shouldn't sound like that. Okay, let me make some changes then. Like, let me not pronounce things like that. So yeah, that really helped me. Like, some people crack under that and they're done. Like, okay, this isn't for me. I'm done. And I had that moment. I remember I was doing like an event in Detroit, and I missed like half my lyrics. You know, we all as newer artists have that experience of like embarrassment. And that's needed. It's part of the growth process. But like a lot of people get to that crossroads and they're like, I either quit or I keep going, and it's gonna be hard. And most people quit. And for me, I was like, I really want to quit, but I'm not going to quit. So I just kept going with it and getting better and better until it became financially like stable and suitable to my life. And like, actually there was success happening, and I was, you know, meeting people and getting opportunities that I didn't have before. So even now, like that's still progressing. And some of it's relational, but you get to a point where it's like the music's not the factor, it's just the relationship. So.
And I think that was the win pretty much for like the conference last year. Like we said when we started, like we only want family on this stage. Like we don't want anybody. I mean, Miles y'all didn't know Miles, but like we toured with him like 3 times before.
I know Miles a little bit, because like I kind of found him on IG, and I did a contest with him or for his song. So yeah, it was good to meet him.
But like, I mean, I wouldn't say outside of him because he's included, but like we wanted family only. So when you like, it was refreshing to see like, yo, my boy's on stage, he's rapping, he's killing it. You know, you could tell people are being impacted and they're leaving encouraged and motivated. You know, so
yeah, bro.
And I really don't know how you.
She's smiling. Mistress.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, carry on.
You know what I was gonna say?
I don't know how you do all of
all the things. Why are you laughing?
No, I was thinking, I don't know how you do all of this with your new movie and everything.
New movie.
Buzz Lightyear.
I'm gonna hate you. I'm gonna catch a case on
yeah, she wildin'.
I'm gonna catch a case.
She got jokes.
No,
I mean, that might be more lucrative than the rapping. I don't know. Like doing the cosplay Disney thing. Just get me the suit.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
ready.
say to you though.
Kids' birthdays.
I really want to thank you for one of your songs because I remember doing
She said
this.
she wasn't gonna say it, and she said it.
Oh no. I wasn't gonna say it because I didn't think I would get
What
it
song
out.
are you talking about?
Hallelujah.
Yes.
Because when I first
That was a collaboration song.
With who?
With Dre.
Brother Ray.
Yeah.
I did. So when I came here the first time, there was still, and you wasn't here. Like
For
you
people
wasn't
who
back-
don't know this, in Detroit, my song with Dre from 2015 called Hallelujah is still a household worship song.
It
here.
is.
Like we
And-
still do it here.
And I was
Without you. That's
Yeah.
the crazy part. Like,
And
yo.
without me or Dre. Yeah.
Yeah. So like when I didn't know that it was you, and I think
Yeah.
other people said that they didn't know that it was your song.
It was an MSG record from that time.
Yeah.
We actually had a collaboration project called The Collision, and that was one of the songs on the album. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yo, yeah, y'all was really putting work on the east side, man. And it wasn't like a jealous envy like we wanted to be y'all. But it was like, I love how they move. I love how they roll. Man,
Yeah.
if we can get a percentage of that. With the shows that we were having,
Mm-hmm.
we just didn't have that collective feeling. You know?
Yeah, really, it's sad because Detroit was so amazing at one time. Like the vibe and like the people, it was moving. I mean, we all had issues. Like everybody's got issues where they're from or whatever, like the behind the scenes stuff. But genuine love, like I've never felt hate really from anybody there. Like it's just always been super solid. Besides Dre, like I said, really getting on me about the music stuff. But that really shaped me and helped me. And I tell people this all the time. It was tough love. Like some people don't like that, but I'm the type, like if like a coach that screams in my ear motivates me. So, but yeah, that was like a brotherhood there. So to see some of those guys come back and like we're starting to do stuff again as far as the music and touring and getting on the road, I'm excited to do it. But yeah, Detroit kind of fell apart, man, for a minute. Like, and it's just now reviving. The edge was always there though. Like when Detroit fell apart as far as us doing shows and touring and like really being active together, it was like done. Like there was nothing. There's no church to go to. It was just like silence.
Yeah.
So it's really dope to see that revived again. But yeah, at the time it was definitely moving.
When y'all getting on the road?
So that's in the works, man. So we're doing Flavor Fest again, or I'm doing Flavor Fest again in October. So we're trying to get some Florida dates, and then we want to hit Texas. So that's kind of been the talk. But we got to get a couple other people on board who are going to fund it and support it. So
yeah, man, let me know. We still
yeah, we got to get you and Steve.
we
for
can
sure.
get y'all
Just you?
Michigan date.
Oh, that'd be dope too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had my DJ from back home, DJ Intangibles. You remember DJ Intangibles? He's like, he looks like a basketball player, super tall dude. Yeah. He was just talking about coming up here for the Hustle Pray Eat conference. So
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's the stop I was thinking about.
Yeah.
for sure.
I was gonna say to you. So, what do you think about the current state of Christian hip hop? Are you enjoying it? Like,
No.
Like,
Mm.
ooh,
Talk about it.
Talk about music and the culture as a whole.
I mean, I think it even bleeds in here at church.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. It's like I hear this all the time, and I tend to actually agree with it, and it's sad. But I hear people who go secular, who go like, people support way more on this side, and so that goes to show it's not the music. For whatever reason, CHH is very tough to get in and like to get a platform. I think it's because it's a small pond, but I also think like there's almost this, I don't even know what the word is. I don't even want to call it pride. It's not necessarily pride. It's like, it's just this I'm special element that a lot of people have where it's like really hard to sit at the table. And I feel like, yes, there's a certain level of artists that probably shouldn't get a seat at the table just because of their artistry.
Yeah.
You know, like not everybody is meant to do it. I get that. But when people have repeatedly shown like, hey, I do this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good product.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might not be at Lecrae's level, but it could be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give me some time type of thing, or give me some exposure and platform. And I feel like there's just a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of difficulty getting into that. And so I see a lot more people trying to do both, where they're like trying to reach the secular and trying to be, you know, in CHH.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's just because they want to reach the lost. I think it's because it's hard to find a seat at that table. So I've experienced that, and I feel like CHH from 10 years ago till today is way less supportive. Artists are way less supportive of each other. It's not as much of a brotherhood. Like even online, like there was people I didn't know in person, and it was just love all the time. Every time I posted something, it was just love. And I just don't see that as much. Like people are really sparing with support. And I think that if we did, especially people you know personally, that you know they make a good product, if we just, you don't realize that one like or that one share then has a ripple effect. You know what I mean? And so I've just seen that consistently throughout the last few years, where it's just a lot less supportive.
Yeah. So what are you enjoying right now? Like, who are you listening to?
Not a lot of people. I don't really listen to a lot.
Okay.
I really don't, honestly. I'll just be on like Facebook or IG and just watch reels. So I'll watch like 50-second clips of songs. But I really like No Big Deal. I really like Indie Tribe. I like what they've done recently. I really like Steve's music, honestly. Like his new album's super fire. I like all of my brothers here. I like all their music. Like there's nobody I'm like, oh, they suck.
We have a
you
great
know?
caliber of
everyone's
rapper
really talented
at the
here,
edge, to
for
be
sure.
fair.
So like, all right, because I am a firm believer of like, you know, groups push culture. You know what I mean? So like,
hey, that's it right there.
Like,
Huge.
it does take a group.
Excuse this dripping.
I got sauce here. Sorry.
This conversation got drip.
No, but yeah, groups push culture, and I do think it does take a special group. And no shots at Reach, but I think it takes another group to push the culture of not just Christian hip hop, but Christianity through hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I have beef with, you know, oh, I'm not like them, you know, I want to be more like Chance the Rapper, Kanye, Lauryn Hill. And it's like, okay. Like
that's something there too. Like it's a lot more individualized now. Even if you weren't in a group.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more individualized. Even Reach, I feel like, is a lot more like, okay, we're going to push Holvey today, and then next month we're going to do Lecrae's single, and then like it's just very, you know.
And I think it takes a group of people, a group of diverse people. I think it takes the church to really move and
powerful.
It's going to take the church to redeem Christian hip hop for the people that lost faith, but then it's going to take maybe not the same church, maybe not the same group, but eventually to evangelize hip hop.
Yeah.
We have some very talented, wordsy people that can rap over hip hop. So I don't think the cost of entry is high at all. You just gotta rap.
Yeah.
Now you can get on Spotify like that. It don't take much to jump into the pond. Not like how it used to be, where you know you had to have your distribution, you had to have everything set up. The average person couldn't get on.
It used to be, when I started, it was at the tail end of being an artist was rare. Like even when I was first coming up, not seasoned at all, unpolished, not very good, honestly. I'd have lineups for autographs.
Really?
Every show. Autographs, I'd sell out merch, every show.
Really?
Yeah. I remember I did a show at like a festival in Detroit. And I was like the only rapper, and they gave me like an hour set of just trash music. And I'm up there just rapping my heart out, man, with some aviators on and a backwards hat. And I got off stage, autographs.
Really?
Whole line. Yeah, and nowadays it's very rare for people to look for an autograph.
Yeah,
there's no novelty to it because everyone's a creator now. Everyone's a creative. Everyone's an artist. So
Superstardom is like a thing of the past.
I think it's still, but this goes back to CHH. CHH had a role to play in the church, and they did things a certain way, and then that bubble burst. So it's re-innovating. Just like we're talking about, okay, that novelty of being an artist and how that was special is gone now. It's not, though. It's how you get there that's different. So how do you do that in CHH? It's going to be a totally different blueprint.
But I think what I mean by superstardom is the mystery that
Dolly
superstars.
Parton. Good old Dolly.
I love Dolly Parton. But
she is a superstar.
She's a superstar. But I'm talking about like the mystery that used to come with it. I feel like because of social media, everybody is so accessible, and it just feels like you're just somebody, like you're just someone from Instagram, rather than
Dolly still feels like that because she's not on there. Like
that's what I mean, and like even Beyonce still has a superstardom about her.
I think M would if M didn't clap back at everybody.
Oh, he's a superstar.
Yeah, but he's always letting
First
people
off,
bother him.
you don't know Marshall, and also don't go Marshall.
But that was hold on. But that was the M before the
20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
No, 20.
Probably.
That song's 20 years old.
I'm guessing.
When did 8 Mile come out?
Well, that's not. Is that 20?
But this is from the that's from the Eminem Show album, and it came out 20 years ago when I was 8 years old.
Hold on, I gotta look up when 8 Mile came out. The movie.
8 Mile.
all these old. I'm saying now.
2003.
20 years ago. No, 2.
Huh?
2002.
Oh, it says 73 here.
I'm lying to you.
So 20
This
years?
is Google. 20 years, literally. And that song you were just rapping was before that.
I know.
Dang.
Told ya. It's old.
But I do think CHH does need superstars. Not for the same effect as the world, but we need someone to have that mantle, that kind of call back to, because what would secular music be without the Biggies and the Pops? Like, you need that. There's some structure in it,
right?
But it just seemed like they're so hard to relate to now. It's like if Lecrae is the superstar, it's kind of like, do you want that? Yeah, you know what I mean, it's not something to strive to, like.
Yeah, it's like being Biggie, only with like way more standards on you.
No, not the standards. I'm saying the flip floppiness.
But I think that's hard to do, and that's what burst the bubble. Is like CHH started as no knock on it, because I love it and I'm still like immersed in it. It's part of who I am. But it was very much like, you're this way, I'm this way. Like, I used to do this, now I don't. Like, even thinking about something that was not recent, but like Blow Your High with Canon. Like, that's all about, like, you know, you do this, I do this now. And I think that...
What do you mean? I'm
losing. Here we go again.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Do you get what
I'm saying? Yo, you smoke, but hey, I something.
I don't. Here's something else. But it's like, that standard was really tough to keep up with. And now you see a lot of people reverting back, like, and I'm not just talking about weed smoking, I'm talking about with every standard, like from, you know, the things that come out your mouth to, you know, lusting over women, like all that stuff. I think that I'm here now and I was there is an impossible place to stay in, because the Christian walk is like this. And so when you're always doing like this, I'm here now, you're not talking about what's your current stuff.
But there does have to be some kind of standard and example for holiness, because I feel like...
But not lying. I think some of that stuff was lying.
Boom!
Not saying that people didn't have that standard and try to live up to it. I was one of them. But the moment you fall, then what? What is your music now?
Yeah.
The moment you have a human moment and you fail, it's like, what's this us versus them, or me versus me then? That can't exist.
I don't think I understand this conversation.
So yeah, it's like now So out of that, now you have artists denouncing their old stuff.
Right.
Like they would delete all their old stuff because it's not who fits them now.
Mm-hmm. And what's the issue with that?
Well, a lot of people have become a lot more loose and progressive, which is not a bad thing necessarily. It's more real, it's more human, but it's also like, oh, you lied to us. Like you said you were this, but you're really like this now. So what does all that mean? And then on top of that, there's other levels. Who's the dude from Cross Movement who just said, I'm an atheist? I forget what his name is. Fanatic, you know, and much love to him, and I love his transparency and honesty, but he's like, I'm none of those things anymore. Not even the faith aspect of it. I'm sorry, guys, but that's not me. So it's like we see this big exodus of people, and then the people who stay don't rap like that or talk like that anymore. And it's like, okay, now we realize that they aren't that person, even if they were trying to live it at the time. A lot of times our music is like hip hop in general. It's like you blow up what life is really like. So like if in the streets it's, you know, I pop off every day. In Christianity it's like I'm always at this standard. Well, you're probably not. And now that people are being more honest or like saying that doesn't fit who I am as an artist, it kind of took the branding away from our genre in a sense. It really did. It took away some of our
well, that's what
content.
Well, that's what happens when
believability.
That's what happens, and that's the danger of it becoming so me-centered rather than God-centered. Because you know God's standard doesn't change. God is good, and He's good all the time. Yeah. So if you talk about it from that perspective of like, this is who God is. Let me talk to you about who God is. That's still going to be same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Whereas you talk about yourself and where you're coming from all the time, you are kind of flip-flop because you're human. So that's where that issue comes from. Like, especially like in this genre, if we solely are talking about ourselves and our journeys, how God, not even how God, but just how we're doing, what's happening in my life, that's where those issues come from.
And I think,
so I think there needs to be a balance of
Well, I was gonna say like that's the balance of making hip hop Christian, because hip hop is boastful. Hip hop is about me and about what I do, and so I think we tried to navigate that and kind of mirror that in a godly, sanctified way, but because it was still me-centered, it didn't hold up. And then you got guys, I'm not trying to say one's better than the other, because all the things I'm talking about...
That's my job.
That's cool. But all the things I'm talking about, I've done it. Yeah. My music was centered around that, and I was trying to live that standard. Did I? No, I fell, you know, at times, and that's why Depravity came out in 2014. But I think... even though that was the culture, that was the standard at the time, and there was a lot of positive to that, you look at guys who are, this is going to be controversial, who are more timeless in CHH, like a Shy Lynn. Shy Lynn
only
talks about God.
Only talks
and it's
about
like,
God.
And it's super like intellectual.
And annoying sometimes.
Okay. But at least that music's timeless in the sense that we don't have to go back and look at it and go, oh, but he's this now.
Oh, Garvey, like that kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, for real. It's just like, like...
Garvey didn't start at the time I'm talking about, like the early Lecrae, not even early Lecrae, like middle Lecrae, where everybody was doing that type of music where it was about like, this is where I'm at now. Yeah. And it's like, that just didn't hold up, and now no one's doing it, and now it's like we've lost our direction, and we don't know what we're doing as a genre, and now we're just like, oh, we're Christians that make good music. That's cool if that's what you are, but that's not how the genre started.
And most of you don't make good music.
Oh, there's Jade. There it is. Oh my goodness. This is why she gets blocked. This is the...
You got to do stuff in excellence, though. Yeah. If you're not putting all your effort into stuff and getting critique, what do you expect? I mean, a lot of people don't want to hear it, and it's like, well, if you don't want to hear it, why are you an artist? Yeah.
So, if CHH was a person or a group of people, and you'd be doing the therapizing situations and all that stuff, right? Sure. If you can say, what's going on, because I know there's a lot of people, but you know, if you could kind of hone in and just speak to CHH, you know, as a therapist, what would you say that, you know, what are the things that are, you know, reversible, the things that, you know,
Of the diagnosis.
yeah, what's the
We need to find identity. And I'm not talking about, oh, our identity's Christ or whatever. Like, that's like whimsical, you know, fluffy talk. Like, what do we stand for as a genre? Like, what type of, like, content are we making, you know? Because I think it has transitioned to, we just make good music, but there's, like I said, there's no identity in that. What's the point of labeling yourself CHH? Well, a lot of people stopped.
Yeah,
you know?
I've noticed that, and it's not popular by a lot of people, but
Right.
the people that's holding on to it, they seem like new people. Like,
They're younger, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of up and coming younger artists or like new to the genre.
You ever heard of Kingdom Choice Awards?
Mm-hmm.
So like they're behind CHH. They run with that banner.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe it's just new to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not into it like that. But it seemed like the people that's coming up is like, yo, this is refreshing. This is something new, something, you know. But
we're
not those people.
It's been so long that we got like new people who don't have any of the baggage or like expectation. So that's part of it too, I think. You're talking to somebody who's 30 years old now. So I'm like, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of like that younger and older crowd.
What was that?
I don't know. They're trying to
We
get
heard
me
something. Anyways, but yeah.
So, okay. Well, how about just the edge then? You know, as we are a church full of artistic people. A lot of them are rappers, you know. So as a therapist, you know, how would you, you know, diagnose what we're in now and how to navigate as Christians? At the edge. Talk to your family.
I think the biggest thing is like, and I struggle with this too. This is not, you guys do this and I do that. It's more so like.
But tell them though. They need to hear it. They need tough love.
I think that obviously supporting each other more fully, embracing one another, realizing that we're not in competition, but we are, you know, together as a body, as a unit. I think that's super important. Whether that's support on social media, whether that's support going to events, whether that's, you know, if you're not on the lineup, coming and even rocking the mic and doing what you do, you know, like being the ad-lib guy or whatever, like all of that is super important and it shows love to each other. And it's honestly what we're called to do. And then the biggest thing, and this, I don't know if this is answering your question, but I think communication is really big, which sounds like a therapist would say that, but talking to each other and like checking in on each other, but also like when something's off or wrong, not feeling like you just have to bury it, but discussing it, talking about it. That's what I love about the podcast. Honestly, doing this is like, we're talking about stuff that we don't always talk about, but we're doing it for the podcast's sake. And I think it's really important to have these conversations off the mic or off the camera too. So yeah, communication is big, and just like saying how you feel directly without being a jerk, obviously, but like, you know, if somebody's music needs work, let them know. Like, hey, I don't like this aspect, but maybe it's just a preference or whatever. I think a lot of that is needed, and for whatever reason, we felt like as a genre, even not just at the church,
it's a genre.
Can't touch it. You know, we can't touch that. Just leave that alone. That's unspoken, and I don't think anything being unspoken is ever a good thing unless it's, you know, a really unusual circumstance. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. That's my advice, or whatever you want to call it.
No, man, I appreciate it. I can honestly see how that would definitely help our church. Our CHHs had like a really big group chat where we could kind of just say, hey, yo.
We do in some circles. So there's listen.
Yeah, Discord.
There's Discord, there's Patreon, there's all these little, like, what was the thing that people were using for a minute? It was an app.
Snapchat?
Clubhouse. Yeah, Clubhouse is one I think that already kind of like fizzled. But honestly, bro, I'm in Derek's community, and I talk to Derek every week, and I talk to some up and coming artists in that group who are really, really amazing artists, and like it's worth money. And what I mean by that is not the fact that you got to pay $5 or $10 or whatever to be in those groups because it's Patreon, but I'm working with producers and other artists that like bring value to me. Like this new record I'm working on is with a up and coming producer in that group who made the beat. So like those communities are really dope to be a part of, even if they're virtual, they're online. And there's honestly a lot of love in there. If like you have a negative view of CHH or like how people treated you or whatever, Instagram is a totally different thing than these like smaller communities where you actually get to talk and voice stuff. So yeah, I recommend that for any artist that's like starting out and they're in Christian hip hop or in hip hop in general, because like these groups are not just limited to that, but get into those communities because it's going to help you with your music, with critiques, with your growth, but also it's going to connect you with a lot of solid people who bring value.
Yeah. Is there any way to get that information? This is Derek's Discord.
So Derek has one. Ruslan has one that's really dope. Yeah, I would just go on Patreon because it's not, you could find it on Discord, but you get access through Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com, you just type in Derek Minor or Ruslan. I think Wande has one. Like a lot of people have them. So
I'm not saying that there's not good, but I'm saying is there one specifically for you? Like you're not just like shouting people out right now. Like you're in Derek's Patreon.
Derek's, yeah, I'm in Derek's. I'm in Ruslan's. I would say Derek's on a personal level has brought me the most value.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Derek's just a super awesome guy, and like, yeah, like dude is very real and like just honest, and it's really refreshing to have that and have a big bro who just like tells it like it is and doesn't hold back. So yeah, really recommend that community for sure. And if you want critiques, I know we have a lot of mixed thoughts about the Rapzilla critique, but I like Ruslan's. Ruslan has a decent one too. So there are communities where you can get your music heard and critiqued. Whether you think it's off base or not is a whole different story. But I've had some good critiques from Rapzilla. I've had some poor ones, and then Ruslan, I've had some really good critiques too, and just a couple here and there where I'm like, I don't completely agree, but Ruslan gave me advice one time and I did it and it made my song better. So, everything's with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. But
we did critiques on here once. And,
what happened?
people stop sending stuff.
Too many Simon Cowells? Or what?
No, it wasn't us. It was PE. PE walked in and kind of took it over the top.
Oh.
So, hold on. I just sent PE a record, and he sent fire emojis.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
He's not going to lie to you.
He found the fire emojis. So that's
he went into his text messages.
Yeah.
He looked for the flame, and he hit the flame and sent it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I noticed this with leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Derek, Steve, and PE.
You got some bass in your voice right now.
No, this is all positive.
Oh.
But they'll give you like less than a sentence.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's fire, it's like, this was fire.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, super solid.
Mm-hmm.
I think Derek sent me something the other day. He's like, you were snapping. That was it. There's no other critique. And I'm like, is that good? Because like, I want critique. Like, I want to know if something's bad or like,
I want to hear
needs
the
to be
bad thing
fixed.
so I can correct it.
Yeah, because then it's like, you could be telling me I'm snapping, but what if you have another thought? And then I get people who like aren't at my level who give these big, lengthy, like, I would do the 808 here instead of here. And I would do, like, I would put the snare at this time. And it's like, okay, I'm not doing that. But I appreciate you trying to help me.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's funny. I noticed that with a lot of people who actually have, like, you know, they've been somewhere and they have the resume to give critiques. They don't say a whole lot.
Yeah. Well, we are going to hear something for Ms Teapot's Cup of Tea segment. But first is the bad news section.
Oh, crap.
Right. Mark the Bad Guy and Edify. Do you have any bad news? Anything that you just want to get off your chest this week?
Man.
Oh, I need to hear from you too.
I kind of gave mine. I was talking about like the support and CHA.
Oh, okay.
That was kind of like all I had.
Okay.
Yeah, mine. I really didn't want to talk about it, to be honest. So I'm gonna just give like the blanket version.
There you go.
We're not gonna get specific, but man, PE says it all the time. Sin costs you more than you're willing to pay, take you further than you're willing to go, keep you longer than what you're willing to stay.
Yeah.
Sin is not something you can bury.
No.
Like it will kill you. Like that's a promise. That's in scripture.
Yeah.
Sin fully grown will murder you. You know what I mean? So
a cub turns into a lion.
And you can't kill the cub. Like that's for Jesus and Jesus alone. He overcame sin and death.
Right.
So that we can be with the Father.
Yeah.
So we have to confess that thing. So it's not just a sin, but everything. It doesn't just kill you spiritually. It kills your witness. It kills your career. It kills everything. Everything will die around it. So man, if you are, this is not too much. This is actually the good news.
Well, this is the gospel.
Yeah,
the gospel.
The gospel.
Yo, if you are in sin, brothers and sisters, confess that thing. Because the faster you get it out, the faster you rid yourself, the less embarrassment that you have to go through later. You don't have to just jump through hoops with your church ministry, your church leadership, your family. Everything isn't at stake. When you learn to confess, and it's no way around that one. I seen it. I've been in Christian hip hop for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Actually, about 15 years. Well, actually, I'm enjoying this. I understand. I'm keeping up with it. I've seen sin take out more careers than bad music.
What?
That's a bar.
No,
That is such a bar.
Think about my favorite.
Hold on. What?
This is
time
gonna
marker is this?
This is gonna be my clip.
Shout out BaddGuy.
No. Like some of my favorite rappers went down because they got caught up in something crazy, and I'm sick of seeing it happen. And it's like these are like noble, stand up men and women, and they just fall. And it sucks because the rappers are on a pedestal, but I've seen the industry. I've been in the label. I've walked through. I've seen some ratchet stuff, and it's like this industry isn't built up to push you closer to God. It's built up for you to produce music. Yeah. That's one half of your title, Christian hip hop artist. You're doing the hip hop thing great. The Christian thing always suffers. Yeah. If you're not building that up, then they're both gonna fall. Then where are you at? So it sounds super, you know what I mean? It'd be shallow for some people. It could be too deep for other people. Y'all confess that sin, get that out, rid of it, purge yourself.
It all comes to the light.
And the confession isn't for the sake for you to be like, I got it out there, let me carry on in it. The confession is for the sake of accountability and for the sake of being able to address it. Because if it's not, shown or it's not on the surface, it can't be addressed. So and that's important, that like all of us in life find people or person that that you can confess your sin to. But some people go a smart way around it, and find somebody that they confess to, but they know that person's not going to keep them accountable, because that same person is probably in the same kind of mess, and it's going to be like, okay, well, we can keep this quiet together. I'll confess it to you, my brother. You know what I mean? Like, let me keep it. We'll keep it between us. So think outside of that. Think about somebody that's actually going to keep you accountable. Somebody that actually cares about your spirit. You know what I mean? Like, saying you love somebody is all good. Being somebody's friend, supporting their music is all good. But how much can you really love somebody if you see them dying and quickly on their way to hell, and you know that you can do something about it and help them stop? Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is a Christian conversation. This is not the world will never understand or fully know. Like, we're not fighting sin. We're not fighting that. We're fighting temptation. We're fleeing temptation. We're trying to stop it before we even catch it. It's our own flesh, because remember the Bible tells us that we are swept away by our own desires, what we ourselves are desiring. So that's why you have to manage your appetites, I would say. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, manage your appetite. So, you know, get more of an appetite. You know, the word says, taste and see that I am good. That's what God says. Yeah. So the more that we taste and the more that we see that the things of God are good, the more that we're going to want that, the more we're going to build an appetite for that. So for all of us, get in our word more, pray more, worship more when you're alone, get more fellowship in and have these godly conversations, because then you will start to build an appetite for that. If you are watching things that you shouldn't be watching, listening to things that you shouldn't be listening to, reading things even that you shouldn't be reading, whatever you're feeding yourself, you're going to develop an appetite. Like sometimes something doesn't itch until you start scratching it. Do you know what I mean?
That's another one.
And so a lot of the time, the reason why you're now dying of this itch is because you've been scratching something that you shouldn't be. That sounds weird, but that's the thing. Like, you're building up yourself an appetite and you're feeding your flesh. That's why I always recommend fasting to people. Like, because it just gets your body in submission to your spirit. Right. That's what I always see. It's not just about going without food, but it's filling upon the things of God in absence of food. I think that's what sometimes people miss, and they just end up just starving themselves. But you have to just fill up on the things of God and build the appetite, and then you realize how much, once you have an appetite of things of God, everything that was against God and your sins will start to disgust you. If you are not currently disgusted with your sin, then you're in a bad place. Ooh. You have to be disgusted with your sin, because the Holy Spirit should be convicting you. If you're not feeling conviction when you're doing that thing, you are in a very bad place spiritually, and I would reach out to somebody. Reach out to one of us.
Huge. Yeah. I was going to add something, but I don't need to, because you took that. You started, it was like one of those marathon races where you passed all the time.
Yeah, that's good. But bad news, good news, call it what you want.
That's the good news, because it's the gospel. Because the good news is there is a savior. Yeah. Save us from this.
It sucks. It really do suck, man. I hate that, especially because like in, I wouldn't say normal hip hop, in the secular world, you're almost praised,
right,
for doing these sinful things.
Seeing ratchet.
Like, if you're listening to like secular music, it's very easy to have a cheerleader in your ear and telling you that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, and that's why I was speaking about holiness earlier. We need to be more of a culture of Christians who are cheerleaders for holiness. Do you know what I mean? Like, encourage abstinence, virginity, encourage soberness. Do you know what I mean? Like, we really don't have that culture where we're encouraging people, like, you say you don't drink. Oh, why not? Not even one.
Right.
Or, oh, I don't watch or listen to secular stuff because it's just, I feel like it's not good.
Don't deter people from being square.
Right, exactly. That's
really what it comes down to. I mean,
right, allow people to be holy. Holiness should be celebrated, and I think we don't live in a culture right now of holiness being celebrated. It's labelled as legalism and stuff like that, and people look down on you for wanting to live a holy life. But holiness is cool.
It is.
The Pharisees was wild. They was like overdoing it, but like I keep like we did the play. Like you were one of the Pharisees. Like you were a Sadducee.
I think I was the lead Pharisee. Yeah.
But like they knew their word. Like that's before you can get to legalism. Like you should probably know all your words. So like in America right now, I wouldn't call anybody legalistic because they didn't know their word like the Pharisees. They're probably just exaggerating, trying to keep people away from the holies of holies. But like no, they were well studied. That's why they were doing some of the things they were doing. Yeah. Because they probably look.
Man, if they had their heart right and they were like that, they would have been the closest thing to Jesus, honestly. But
that's my goal.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's good to be studied. It's good. It's not bad to like people talk about, oh, I don't go to church. I just got a personal relationship. It's like, that stuff's not bad. You've just seen the bad side of it when it goes too far this way. But you need that. Like, it's good to have that foundation. It's good to have those gates or whatever, fences, I should say. But you know what I think about all the time?
What?
I think about life as a game.
Me too.
And
he didn't say what game yet. So I'm curious.
Atari.
Wait. What game are you talking about?
A lot of the time it's chess.
Okay. You thinking chess too,
I'm thinking of like Matrix.
All right.
Yeah, life is like Matrix.
So what I mean by that is like
Super Mario.
we take this life super serious, man. Like, and it's not a bad thing to be like, this is the life I've been given. I only got one. You know, some cultures think you get a bunch, like, you know, but let's just say we get this one, and you know, that's what the scripture talks about. You live, you die, you get judged. That's it. Well, I think of people like getting so locked into the game and taking it so serious, but doing the wrong things. So doing the things that the culture say is important, or like, let's say it's building wealth and supporting your family. Like that's your top goal in life. That's it. So you live your life, you go hard for that, you go that direction, you go where people told you to go, and then you die and realize none of it mattered. You die and realize, like, you wake up from your sleep like the Matrix, and it's like, whoa, that wasn't even real. But it also like determines where I go now. I think about that all the time because I'll get so wrapped up, even in music, even in counseling, my job, my family, you know, and all those things are important to me. But if I neglect my spiritual walk and I'm in darkness and I die today, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I took the wrong things serious or too serious and put it above what mattered, which is my walk, my relationship with God. So I always think about that, like, you know, eventually all the stuff you're tied to, you won't be tied to anymore.
Right.
All these things that you put weight on, eventually it's just going to pass away, like it says in the scriptures. You know, it's just a vapor. It's just a mist, like, you know, moth and rust destroy it. So like, what are you investing in and why? I think that's important to think about. Like, what needs need to be met for you, and are those things that you put all of your focus into that's just do, are those things giving back? If they're not, question, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And how does this affect eternity? How does this affect the game once it's over? Once I wake up from it, once I'm like in the real reality, which I'm getting into some philosophical stuff, but like, I really believe this is just, this is like the sleep state in a sense. Like, we're in our flesh, we're in this fallen world, and eventually we're going to be in front of God. So yeah, just focus on what matters. Is it this momentary pleasure, or is it this? Is it my job and making $1 million, or is it this? And even though those things are important to an extent, like what you can do with them, and you know, it's going to give you a better life, it's going to support your family, whatever the case may be, it's never supposed to go above your walk. So,
and also, repentance is not just saying sorry. I think sometimes you can act like that. Oh, I repented because I said sorry to God. Like, no, repentance is the turning away of that thing. So, you know, it's going to be hard to turn away if you don't know what you're turning to. So, get to know God. You know, develop your relationship with Him. Read the Word. Ask for, you know, sensitivity to the Holy Spirit, you know, in your life as well. Because if you don't know what you're turning to, you're never going to turn. Because what's in front of you right now is pleasing to you. And a lot of us, you know, put our pleasure over those things like eternity and our relationship with God. So,
well, what is that though? And I think you got to it. You just there was one thing I wanted you to kind of expand on, and it's that finding God and like Him being real to you takes care of all those desires. Like, we don't realize that like, we won't indulge in that if we are getting fed the right things.
And if you're asking, like, my prayer so often is, Lord, give me your desires. I want my desires and your desires to be the same thing. I want your will and my will to be the same thing, so that I can live on track, that I can live pleasing to you. And, you know, the Bible says, live by the Spirit and then you won't gratify the flesh. Do you know what I mean? But we are so fleshly and worldly these days that we don't even know what it means to walk by the Spirit. So I would challenge you guys that are listening, if you got this far, to to do some research on what it means to live by the Spirit.
That's in Galatians, right?
Yeah, Galatians 6:9, I think.
That's it right there, the feeding the flesh with the Spirit. I almost got that as a tattoo.
I love that.
Almost
I
did.
have it up on my mirror. Let me see if it's Galatians 6 now.
It
Sure.
is.
It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember that one. That's the one. You know your word.
Little bit.
What?
Oh, wait there! I need to tell people. So I will be hosting.
Oh God! See, that's why I put it at the top. I don't know how we
Big
got.
ticket. Big ticket.
Oh, yeah, well, I thought I spelled it.
Oh, no, that is spelled
No, I was
right.
just-
Oh my God!
It's been 4 hours, I think, so I'm just getting goofy. It
Oh
hasn't,
my
though.
God.
It's been give or take
Give or take.
3 hours. Yeah.
We've done a whole hour podcast before recording, so next week I will be hosting the main stage at Big Ticket Festival. Yay! And P will be the speaker for it as well. So that's amazing. Such a privilege to be able to be doing it. And
You know, I've never been on main stage at Big Ticket.
And you guys are just hosting. Like, you guys not only are doing the main stage, you're hosting the whole thing.
Hosting the whole main stage, yeah,
Wow.
for the whole weekend.
Yeah. You'll never get it. You'll never understand me, Siri.
Man, she don't get big ticket. No.
But yeah, so the main stage and people will be talking on the main
Wow.
stage too.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think
super cool.
the first Big Ticket I did was like 12 years ago.
Wow.
With Beacon, I was just the hype guy.
Oh.
Because I used to dance.
Mark
on,
the hype guy.
I used to do the Salvation
Mhm.
dance. So
Mhm.
basically, I ad-lib until
I knew that song actually before I met Beacon.
Oh.
Like, it was actually out there. Like, I heard it in Detroit, and I was like, this dude's dope. So,
Yeah.
Illy.
And then I'll be teaching at a camp as well straight after that. So I'll be gone for like a
What's the
week or
camp?
so. I don't know what it's called, but it's a worship arts camp.
okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be at Life Fest
Same
Out in,
weekend, so
out in Oshkosh.
Oshkosh.
So if you're over there, Steve, you got 2 slots.
I feel like, isn't Getty Fest there too? Maybe not. It sounds like Oshkosh. I don't know. That's in, where's that?
Wisconsin.
It's in Wisconsin. Yeah, that's Clear Hits doing that.
I think they're like promoting a stage or
Oh,
something.
okay.
But yeah, Life
Yeah,
Fest. Man, I met a lot of wonderful people at Life Fest.
Aw. You're gonna meet some more.
Probably not. This one's gonna be.
He
an
said, probably.
This one seems like an in and out kind of situation. So
Because are you coming to Big Ticket?
No.
Oh, you're not. Okay. I thought it's tickets.
Man.
Aw. I would have loved to go. I really like Big Ticket. Just don't wear any white shoes. Don't wear anything clean.
Okay. Oh well, when I'm on stage, I
Like
can.
from like
Mm.
ankle down, because this is all like dirt roads and
Yeah, I remember we went a couple years ago.
yeah, you know what's up.
And we got 2 tables full of sprays. So.
Yeah. They're killing it, man.
Sheesh.
And look, I had 0 to do with it.
Mhm.
You believe that?
Who scouted you?
George Moss actually
Oh.
recommended me. Yeah.
That's my, yeah.
And then
that's the
I
homie.
recommended PA. Well, actually, no, I didn't. She asked if he'd be willing because I was telling her about I gave her a tour and then told her about PE and then yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I just did a show with George like 2 weeks ago.
Shout out George.
Shout out George. George is grinding, man. I complained to him. I was like, man, I haven't had 3 shows in a week in a long time. And he's like, yeah, I used to do a show like every day. And he's got like 6 or 7 kids. I'm like, yeah.
He has
I
that
can't.
many kids.
Well, he adopted.
Oh.
There was like I think there was 3 kids he adopted recently, like this
Oh.
past year. So I'm like, yeah, I can't complain in front of George ever,
Wow.
man. That dude's
Yeah,
grinding.
no, he knows the grind, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate it. But
We got to the cup of tea.
I was gonna ask you about the abortion laws, but
Oh,
I feel
man.
like I feel like that's another topic.
She
For-
deflated. She went, oh,
For,
No.
nah, I'm not.
for another.
Women already think I hate them.
There's a lot of
So
lot
take-
of division.
Cup of tea! We're not doing it. Not getting
Get
canceled.
me a cup of tea.
Nick, I think that's you, sir.
What?
What am I
Go
doing?
put the,
Oh.
pop the kettle on.
My bad.
Oh, and then I need you guys to taste this.
Oh God. Are you a chocolate guy? Of course
What is
not.
it?
No.
What is it? What's it? What is that?
It's from England. It's called a
I was gonna say,
crunchy.
it looked off-brand, like a nutty bar.
No, it's a crunchy.
Crunchy.
And it's delicious.
It's a crunchy.
So I want you guys to
Are you,
know.
So,
do you like
before-
chocolate?
Yeah. I eat chocolate. Why?
I'm not a chocolate fan. and that's chocolate.
I like
You're still gonna eat it.
I like stuff that's fruity, like raspberry ice cream and
like sorbet.
sorbet.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
So you're a fruity boy.
When it comes to food choices, sure.
But Chichiman.
Nothing else. No, I'm fully
What's your favorite song off Steven's album?
do that. Now I gotta go look at his album to see all the songs in front of me. If I was to go off of, I heard Red Light, Green Light. Sorry, at the show in Detroit.
Yeah.
So I was in Detroit, like waiting to go on stage, and they were playing it during like the DJ set. I'm like, this is hard. This is before I heard the album.
Anytime somebody says red light, green light to me, the wrong song plays in my head. You know what song plays in my head? Last time I saw we to fight.
Yeah. Rumble?
What was it called again?
Rumble.
Rumble, yeah. Zay
Yeah.
Jones.
Kimani.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I didn't know what you were singing. I was like, what? Yeah.
I'm starting to pick
I
up
really
on
like
Jade's.
Isms.
Her
Yeah.
isms.
Yeah.
I understand.
It took me a
You do,
long
you
time to
understand
understand her because I didn't know her
Mhm.
for real. Like, she's very sarcastic.
Mm.
You're like this too, but I've known you for a while. But I didn't know she was like that because she's serious around public people,
Mhm.
like or in public places. Like, if they don't know you,
Mhm.
you're not messing with them.
Mhm.
But if you know Jade, she will mess with you. Like, I walked in to boxing one time and she's just like asking me a question that I had no idea what she was talking about.
Oh.
Turns out it was a joke.
Yeah, somebody got possessed by an owl.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? She kept saying that to me. Somebody you know
Did I tell
got
you that,
possessed
Mark?
by an owl. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you
And he was
talking
like,
about?
who? And I was like,
But she waited for 20 minutes for me to finally say
Yeah,
because
that's Jade.
Because I kept saying, what? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. I finally am like, who? And she's like, an owl.
She
What
pointed
the
at me.
heck?
She said, "Ah!"
I know them the 28 chickens.
This one's stupid too, man. I already heard this one.
There's 30 cows on a farm and 28 chickens. How many did it?
Did it? What?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole thing. You gotta figure
She
it out.
said that's the whole thing.
What?
There's 30 cows on the farm
Yeah.
and 28 chickens. How many did it?
Chickens?
Yeah.
And they didn't?
Yeah.
Didn't do
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I said.
Okay.
I know the answer though.
Guys.
There's 30 cows on the farm
Right.
and 28 chickens.
Mm-hmm.
How many did it?
I don't like the ending. That's confusing. That's why that one's tough.
Say it again.
30 cows on the
Bro, I
farm.
thought you looked like
Right.
something wasn't recording.
No.
I was about to get
30 cows on the farm
Yeah.
and 28 chickens. How many did it?
2.
Yes.
Jerk.
She
Mark!
got
You're the only person that's ever got
He
it.
got that.
Ever? You're the only person
That's
that's
because
ever got that.
he's a bar breakdown.
No, I'm like 28.
Literally.
I
Literally.
hate the 8.
Oh, so
There's another one.
he contemplates this at night.
It was a 007 line, and a dude, he said, 007 something. I go deny, like golden eye.
Oh.
But when people say gold, like when they don't say the like,
Yeah.
I hate those.
I
It's
like those.
real cool for rap, but like in like
Who's the
speech-
dude that Beezy went against from New Jersey? What's his name? Twerk. He had a line that was actually really dope, but the way he said it, I'm like, he was talking about like dinosaurs, and he said, "If you say anything false, soul," but he said it like false isle, like it was so weird. But I was like, "Oh, I get it."
It's stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
that's the
I
stuff
love
that
that.
keeps me up at night.
But that's the stuff I try to do in records, and no one catches it because it's like you can't do it on wax.
Yeah, it's not. It's
You
not
have
a
to do
rap
it like
thing.
in front of people,
Yeah.
battle rap.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that, I'm gonna show you this record.
Okay. I'm
But
with you on it.
that's a great preface for this record. This record has been super frustrating.
Okay.
And I told you guys this beforehand. Let me tell you guys why.
We want to
What?
do this now at the end?
Yeah.
You want to do it now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're eating that?
You don't want to do it at the end?
Oh, go ahead.
The last thing.
I'll wait.
Oh, you hungry?
Yes, I didn't eat today.
You
I
didn't.
honestly haven't either. Anyways,
Crunchy.
let me preface this record
Okay.
on the camera, okay?
Why
Because
did my mom send me £12?
Can you let me talk?
I'm so sorry.
Talking about crunchy bars over here.
Sorry, yeah, carry on.
So listen, this song has been a lot of work. I've probably put 60 hours into this one track, which is way too much. That's on the production side mostly, but this is experimental and abstract. This record is like a cipher, but it's just me. There is no chorus. There is no hook. It's just rapping.
Love it. Cup of tea.
Boom bap, boom trap, little drill. That's what it is.
Okay. So, Mark, you also have to say if it's your cup of tea.
Yeah, I already like it. No hooks.
Beezy said he loved it.
Yeah,
so.
I don't like hooks because they're too happy.
Oh, okay. This is for you then. Let's get it. All right. So this song is called Pen Game. You guys want the ad-libs on it or the non-ad-lib track? You think you'll hear stuff better without ad-libs?
No, give me the ad-libs.
Yeah, give it in its totality.
We can square up like a rice and cigarette. Breaking bad like the B-boy couldn't dance. A crack of a jaw getting hit with a fist. Fighting flesh, no zombie land. Gotta find out what you against. I would question who he was. Had the dementia, can't forget. Absorbed that living water like a phone in rice. Poltergeist. Received the spirit, then I walked into the light. Gave me sight, left me with the blessing. No more fighting for acceptance. Life was a horror show. Then got goosebumps in his presence. I'm overcapped like expiration date, saving face, reconstructed from the flames. Truth is, there's one way. Came down from heaven's gate, showed us all amazing grace. Murder case, left the grave. 24 past 48, got rose back after time passed like the Knicks did on signing day. Breaking chains, healed the lane, never coming back the same. Save the world, reversing fate. Battled legions, Dr. Strange. Reason why I snap on opposition like it's endgame. Marvel at his greatness with these writtens, watch my pen game. Wanna be a hero or a heroine, it's in vain. Jesus is the only one deserving of all men's praise. They fiend for cataract like the vision blurry. Appear to be alive, but they're dead, no taxidermy. Devil coming for the neck, that's aggressive carcinoma. Protected by the blood, covered in the hemoglobin. Heard they hunting for my check, kept it moving, tax aversion. But I'll never water down like Niagara when it's frozen. Cut different, mind lifted, lighting away like the headless horseman. Pick first, the first turn, that's how I know that I must have been chosen. Cause I won the lottery, there wasn't nothing I did that could earn it. Was God's favor, had it on me even before I was able to notice. Caitlyn Jenner translated like I heard it all in German. He kept speaking to me, started understanding the importance. It was making sense, no more sitting on the fence. Feeny couldn't have convinced, then I put my faith in him, overlooking my offense. This is what the gospel did, wash me clean. Pay my debt, no Sally Mae. Infantry, I'm taking aim. Don't want the smoke like hitting vapes. Soldier boy, no bathing apes. Call me average, that's past tense. Knock rappers off like fashion trends. Imaginary friends keep on talking, don't play pretend. Now I'm moving different like my hips slipped out of place again. Probably missed the bars, the jungle gym. Better fall back like your finger slid. And then rewind till you comprehend. Keep pressing on, got a race to win. Gave life meaning, it was syntax. Was searching for it like a new tag. He's the reigning champion back to back. It's comparing height when in quicksand. No other guy got a leg to stand. They rip him off like a bed tag. Starting to piss me off like a bad aim. Silent off the mic, but on beach it's different territory. Many claiming true, but their lines are only allegory. Found they really fake, some reptilian lizards. No conspiracy. Love them from a distance, won't turn to villain. There'll be snakes behind your back, but to your face got charisma. God's grace is still sufficient, so I pray he can heal them. Claim the street life, but that's some fake hype. In prison from the lies. Death row bars, I'll leave you shook night. Trapped in front of stage light. No other way out except for through Christ. Confess with your mouth, receive a new life. Believe and you'll get new life.
That's it. That was not the ad-lib one. I missed the...
No, that's fine. That was my cup of tea. That's Ms Teapot's cup of tea.
I dig it. There is one thing.
Yes.
Because there is no features and it just sounds like a lot of rapping.
Yes.
If there's like a pitch, Kendrick does it a lot.
You're talking about like a different tone?
Yeah, just
like,
a different tone for just like maybe 8 bars in between it. Just
I could add something. Yeah, that's a good idea. Every time I play this for somebody, it's either no comment except for like fire, blah, blah, or it's like everybody has one thing different that's totally random.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I'm like, yeah, I had a couple critiques like, hey, it's too lighthearted, so I made it darker. Like I put a little bit more of like that intensity in it.
Do you know who you reminded me on this track?
I hope it's somebody I like.
Mario.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You reminded me of Mario on that track.
Yeah. I haven't heard Mario do a full-on like rap record, but yeah, he's got that like boom bap aggressive.
You gotta growl
Yeah.
to use.
Yeah,
yeah,
in
yeah,
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
turn up.
Say it with your chest.
What's up, Nick?
Well, when will it be available for others to listen to?
He said he ain't done with it.
Yeah, I'm still tweaking. That's close to the final, but
I'm gonna need you to send me. So
I gotta shoot a video for it. I gotta do a doc for it. I gotta do promo is gonna be crazy for this reason. Like the reason why, let me tell you why. Is because it's so different from other records I've done that I have to convey it to people before they listen to it, so people know like, hey, this is what you're about to receive. Receive it this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like I've never done a record that's boom bap like this or like just full out rap. So yeah, wait on it, but hopefully in like the next month.
Good.
I love the energy. It seems like a refresher because you're a good writer. Like you write a lot of great hooks, and like you sing on them. But it's refreshing. Just it sounds like you're spitting.
This is all PE's doing, honestly. Like PE's like he's been trying to get me to do this for a while. So
spit, Nick.
I love when people listen to PE.
He's got wisdom.
It does like people need to listen to him more.
Yeah. I mean, my thing was like, oh, that style is kind of outdated, but it's not though, because people still do that. What do you call it? Niche, and it just depends on like what the listener wants. So this is for the hip hop heads. This is for like the other artists. Honestly, this is for people that love the craft. So
the other I like that for the other artists because there is there's an inspiration that the secular music have, but you know when somebody's rapping for another rapper. Like you can hear it. It just sounds a little different.
Like there ain't no story in this. It's just rapping.
Yeah,
like
just let me hear it.
It's the gospel in lyrical form. Like that's what it is. So
talk your stuff,
and
man.
I love that. And you know, back home, every time I have a cup of tea, I have to have something sweet with it. And I usually choose chocolate. So you're gonna eat some chocolate, okay? Because I want you to taste it. It's so.
I've had European chocolate, but it's not.
This is a bit
England.
melted, but this is your half.
This is for Mark or me?
Either one of you.
Mark, you
both
want
have
some?
Yeah, you both having it. You take.
Why are you looking like that, bro?
I'm just watching it on the camera.
Okay. I gotta try.
Wait.
It's like communion. Come on.
Yeah.
Sanctified.
Sure. No, just take the packet.
But you ain't gonna eat them?
No.
She knows what it tastes like.
It could be poison though.
No. So,
after all this?
Yes!
Okay.
Smells good.
Okay.
Cheers. To episode 62.
Hey.
It's been lit. Our first guest.
Yeah.
It's 7:30,
It's a
y'all.
success.
What a wild cast, y'all. But can't wait to do it again.
Cheers. Oh.
God.
Okay. That's pretty good.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. What do you think?
It's crunchy.
I didn't expect that. The texture. I don't even know what to... It's like a wafer, but it's not.
A lot of caramel. Is it caramel?
I think it's like honey.
It's like taffy. Or like...
Have another bite, Mark.
Well, now I can't touch anything. But it was good.
Lick your fingers?
I'm not doing that on camera.
Why?
That's nasty.
That's not nasty.
When I eat, I'm fat. Okay? That means I don't.
No, but
I don't like eating in front of people because, like, at home, I'd be just like eating my fingers.
Just lick your fingers because it's worse. You're sitting there with chocolate on your fingers.
Chocolate, man.
There's not a napkin or something.
No.
I do like it.
You like it?
I do.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Success.
Wait, where you all going?
I'm gonna give him a napkin.
Legs.
Okay, sit down.
We're still going?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just said.
No.
Okay, my bad. We're still
We have
rolling.
to say bye.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This was like a 4-hour road trip. My legs are asleep.
Okay.
Look at the carpet too. Thank
Wait,
God
hold
they
on.
can see that.
Okay.
I gotta get something for this. I thought you grabbed something.
You know, I figured we say bye really quick.
Okay, hold
Oh my god.
on. I'll be nasty off camera.
tell
I'm
me.
back. I'm
Okay.
back.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into this long episode. I'm probably going to cut it and split it in 2 parts. Thank you so much, Edify,
Thank you
for
for
being
having me.
here.
Yeah.
You was a great guest, and you're welcome back anytime because you can really talk. You know.
I live here, so
Yeah.
I'm here every week.
Yeah. So, Mark, it was good to be back with you.
I absolutely can't wait to do it next
Sorry.
week. We gotta find a creative time because I think we're both leaving out on Thursday.
Yeah, should we do Tuesday?
If I can
Big
think of something to
ticket.
talk about.
I'm joking.
Mark, there's always
Festival
something
season.
to talk about, and you said that.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and we'll see you for episode 63. Bye! Sorry.
I was gonna do the float wave,
Oh, the Queen
the
Wave.
queen wave.
Did I tell you that I thought I killed
Oh
the
my
Queen?
gosh! What?